the road is long, when you're feeling low, with every breath, don't forget how far you've come. When it's late at night, when you're all alone, I'll lift you up, I could be your helium.
Hi, my name is Katie Johnson, or Katie Joe, whichever. And today I wanted to do a video about the 10 positive things that have happened since I became visually impaired. If you would like to know the backstory on how that happened and the health issues that led to it, I have explanations in 2 separate videos. One that is based on the service dog that I have, and the other one that is titled Tools That I Use for Legal Blindness. And I encourage you to check those out if you'd like to know the backstory. But for today, I just wanted to talk about the 10 positive things that have happened since losing a lot of my vision. So let's get into it. Okay, so these 10 positive things are in no particular order of importance. And starting with number 1, I never realized it until the last few years of becoming legally blind that I didn't necessarily judge people based on the way that they looked or how they dressed or that kind of stuff on a daily basis, but I think that some part of that might be human nature and things. So when I do see something with the little tiny remaining vision that I have, it usually has very little if no detail at all. So I definitely don't judge people based on what kind of clothes that they're wearing, because to be quite honest, I can't tell difference between the designer or the off-brand, and even before it didn't make a difference, and now it really doesn't make a difference to me. And I also don't base people as much on their looks based on who I hang out with. I, even more than ever before, I base people based on their character, how I hear and view them and interpret the way that they speak with and talk to others and how they treat people. And that is what attracts me these days, even more so than before I was legally blind, because I don't have that ability to use my eyes as a gauging mechanism on whether somebody's super handsome or super cute or anything like that. I don't have any bias or basis or particular style of person that I like to date or hang out with. It didn't make much of a difference to me before, and now it makes very, very, very almost zero difference now. So that is number 1. 2, there has always been in my life and in my family's life, and a lot of people I know, and I'm sure you've experienced it as well, there's always been kind people in and out of my life through growing up into my adult years, and those people are still there and they still exist. But for number 2, I've noticed that in a positive way, I'm noticing it, and I'm more grateful than ever before when people are kind. So for instance, the other day I was at a grocery store a little while back, and I was shopping, and I had my white cane with me, and I was pulling my shopping cart behind me so I didn't bump into anything, and I was going up to the milk section or the dairy section of the grocery store, and as I was putting my hand into the refrigerator to get out the milk that I wanted, it was like kind of sticky on the end of my fingers, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And this nice person came up behind me, and they were like, yeah, you might want to be careful, a milk jug is apparently exploded. And I was like, oh, thanks. I was kind of wondering what was going on, and they said, you know, would you like me to get that for you? And which one did you want? So I explained which one I wanted, and they gave it to me, and it just made the whole experience so much more enjoyable. And I run into that, I would say, on a weekly basis. Not necessarily, you know, people helping all the time. which is nice when it's offered, but I like to learn how to be independent, and I pride myself on trying and learning new ways to do things over the years. But just people's patience and understanding, I've come to be so grateful and so much more appreciative of it these days. So I don't think that there's necessarily kinder people in the world just because this has happened, but in a positive light, I have noticed and appreciated and let those people know that I appreciate them way more than maybe I ever did. For number 3, I get to have my service dog with me, or my dog with me. So I have a service dog that is in another video that I've done, and his name is Oliver, and he's being trained for guide work and also for forward mobility. And he's also my pet, and of course, and he hangs out with me in the home. In fact, he's right on the other side of the camera, laying on the couch. And so one of the positive things that has happened is I get to take my dog with me places, and I get to have his assistance and his companionship and his comfort, and the experience of going legally blind and learning how to navigate the world again. It for me anyways, and I know that it might be like this for other people who've had this experience, but it can be kind of scary when you are getting just a little bit of glimpse of whatever is remaining in your vision, but you can't tell exactly what that is and where you are. Can be kind of a disorientating and unsettling feeling. And now I get to have not only my dog with me, but a dog that can be with me through those times and guide me to where I need to go. So of course it comes with its normal challenges, with any service dog handler can attest to. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. Number 4, sometimes, and I don't know why this exactly happens. I don't know if it's because of a genetic defect that I have in my eyeball, or because of the way that my optic nerve is enlarged. But when I personally go to the eye doctors now and they have to dilate my pupils for an examination, sometimes for that day and then sometimes for like a few days afterwards, maybe even 2, I actually see rainbows, especially in the little tiny central vision that I have remaining. I see multiple rainbows, so it's not just one. And it's pretty awesome because with my particular vision loss, colors can be very muted unless they're extremely bright, vibrant primary colors. So as any of my friends can attest to, over the last few years, I have been drawn to hot pinks and primary reds and basically the warmest tones you can find, because that's the only colors that really my eyes take to these days. So when I see rainbows for that temporary time period after getting my eyes dilated, I can't even describe it. It is so magical and great, and of course it's not healthy to walk around with your eyes dilated all the time, so can't do it regularly, but it's pretty cool. It's not super helpful in my functionality, but it's beautiful. And so yeah, that's one of the positive things. Number 5 positive thing is that because my personal visual impairment is due to genetic conditions and a medical issue, I have not only learned to rely on medical professionals, doctors, nurses, medical assistants, nurse practitioners, but I've also learned to trust them. And when I say trust, I mean completely trust. So a little quick overview. Last summer I had to have a minor procedure done, and where I had to go under general anesthesia. And in those moments, you really, once you make the decision on who your doctor's going to be and what plan of attack you both have agreed on, after that point, it's a lot of faith and trust. And through that, which ended up being a positive experience now, but at the time is a very stressful situation, the good stuff that has come out of it is that I've learned to fully trust in my decisions and trust on the medical providers that I believe can help me and take care of. Number 6. I have learned through the struggle of basically completely learning how to function and to live again when it came to certain daily activities. I have gained an understanding that I would have never had before without the struggle, and I feel very humble in the presence of others who have any kind of physical struggles, whether it's temporary injury or a disability or mental health struggles. I've just come, since this has happened, to try to find peace with what has occurred to me, and in turn that peace has given me more appreciation and patience for what other people in my community and also out in the world might be struggling with. Number 7 positive thing is, before I became visually impaired, believe it or not, even though I went to college for multimedia design and production, and part of that design was learning about digital design and art in general. To be quite honest, I was never a big art history fan, and I never really saw the draw to or the attraction towards abstract or more impressionistic, I think is the word, kind of art. And now that I have very limited skills, and I have come to really appreciate abstract art because my brain fills in a lot of the blanks, and it tries to do that in daily life just to help me function and get through my life. My brain actually, tries to fill in the blanks of what it can't see. And when that becomes not only helpful but really exciting and cool is when I'm trying to visualize abstract art. I can make it to whatever I view in my own imagination, and it makes the art even more incredible and important to me. And I appreciate it so much more because I have such little left in the way of vision that to be able to allow my brain to imagine what is in front of me is pretty awesome. So I definitely love and appreciate abstract art now more than ever before. Number 8. Number 8. So it has forced me to literally slow down. You go through your morning routine, and part of that routine is very monotonous. You do it every day and it's instinctual. Well, because of the challenges and the struggles of becoming legally blind and having to slow down and really focus on what I was doing so that I could get it done properly, and so that I could slow down and take my time and figure out how to get these things done without relying on my vision, it has forced me to slow down. Now, the cool thing about being forced to slow down is that that gives me time in the morning or an extra few minutes, because I know that it's going to be slightly slower than ever before. It's given me that time to really focus and meditate and just review my life, but also just be in the moment. And I get to do that every single morning, and part of that is because I have to, which is beautiful, and I'm super appreciative of what that has given me and how that's enhanced my life. Number 9, it has taught me some new skills. So I have participated in some of the training of my service dog / guide dog. And so I had animals and dogs my whole life, but I had never officially trained a dog before. And this is the first time where I put in weekly work every single week to build a communication and trust between me and my animal, which is something that I may not have done unless this happened to me. And also I took courses in Braille. I'm up to Braille level 3, which is uncontracted Braille. And if you're unfamiliar with Braille, it is a way of reading where you're actually using your fingertips. I also have been taking courses on things like Spanish, which I don't know if I hadn't been forced to slow down and work on functionality and improving the struggles that I've been going through. I don't know if I would have taken an extracurricular class like that, but I'm up to Spanish conversational level 2 now, and I don't know if that was something that I would have done before. So it's definitely sent me in a direction of learning new skills and taking classes that I might not have done before. And last but not least, 10. So I have had to rely on certain devices that you can see in my tools that I use for legal blindness, but some of them are not as common. So my white cane and my service dog, you may have, the regular public may have seen those things before, but other things that I use sometimes are not as common. So I also use telescopes, the central vision, and I also use a mega magnifier glass that hangs on. So they're not exactly common, and sometimes it can make me stand out. And so that's the not great part about it, but it's also a great thing or a positive thing, because over the years I've learned that just because something is different doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, or just because something looks different or stands out or people notice it more, that doesn't necessarily make something bad either. So it has forced me, by using these things that I need, it has forced me to advocate for myself and be like, no, you know, I really need this in this moment. So that's a great thing. It's made me stay true to myself and learn how to do that. And it's also made me be humble in the knowledge that just because something's a little bit different doesn't mean that it's bad. So yeah, so that's an extreme positive. So those are the 10 positive things that have happened to me since becoming legally blind. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out my other videos. I hope to make some more for you guys. If you liked this video, of course, you know, do your thing. Like, subscribe, all the stuff. You got the idea. Thank you so much for watching. Do what makes you happy, do what makes you smile, and have an awesome day or night. Okay, love you. Bye.
Said your life will never be the same. Hey there, champion, bet you're gonna win this fight. And I'm here for you through good and bad, right by your side. Sometimes you can lose it all overnight, but everything's